Hello, this is Mike.
Hey, Mike. My name's Jim Brych. I'm one of the physician assistants here at Essentia Health in Duluth.
Hey, Dr. Brych.
So I'm calling you about your dad.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So yeah, he got transferred to us with what we call small bowel obstruction, we were able to see the CTs that they did at Duluth Hospital, and we've been able to review those. On the imaging, it does show a bowel obstruction, and that's where kind of the bowels will get kind of kinked against each other, and then then there's not any more passage of the stool between there. The vast majority of these get better on their own. I'd say about 80% of them. And that's traditionally the approach that we take with all patients at first is kind of we put an NG tube, a tube down in their stomach to relieve, fluids that are backing up into their stomach, and not have them eat. And the vast majority of people with the bowel obstruction will kind of resolve on their own. We do kind of follow closely, if people don't improve or things get worse. We do surgery. The surgery does not correct to prevent future bowel obstructions, but it's kind of for this bowel obstruction at that time. Bowel obstructions are typically related to someone who had previous abdominal surgery, and I understand your dad has splenectomy this summer. So it's usually related to that surgery, and they develop some scar tissue, but the bowels get caught off on. On his imaging, we've also seen a lot of stool that was present in the intestines, a lot more than we normally see, and we think that might be contributing to some of the symptoms. So we're trying to get him some laxatives to clear out some of that stool. I don't think we've had a small amount of success, but not to the point where that we're satisfied with at this point. So we have not repeated the CAT scan because we can view the CAT scan that was done at that line hospital, and we can see everything that was done there. Dr. Scott, who is the trauma doctor onto the service, did see your dad, and we ordered what's called a small bowel follow-through, where we instill some medication through the NG, and we track that to see whether that falls all the way through the intestines or not. Kind of helps us determine, is there still a bowel obstruction or not. And also, vast majority of the time, it also is kind of therapeutic and helps resolve a bowel obstruction. So I think that's kind of the rundown right now. Do you have specific questions otherwise, or?
Partial bowel obstruction, upper or lower?
So it's a small bowel obstruction. So you have two basic sets of intestines. A small bowel, where there's a lot of absorption of the food. Then the large intestine, kind of where your appendix is down the right lower quadrant start. Yeah. And that's where a lot of the fluids get absorbed. And the small bowel is the vast majority of what we see. And that's what your dad has right now. So traditionally, we kind of tell people that when they come to the hospital, it's 2 to 3 days at least. Some people recover quicker than others. So it's a little day by day. I think if we can kind of get his bowels moving, and see how he's doing tomorrow, we have kind of a better idea as far as how long he'll be here.
Roger that. Okay.
So
then as far as the all right, when he was in Grand Forks, he was having a lot of this bowel obstruction and everything like that, and they ran him through a gambit of. They didn't do that methanoxalone or the injection.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't do that. I actually was recommending Movantic. They didn't do that. They were basically just hydrating him and monitoring him. And I walked in the door with a $2.70 box of generic chocolate X-Lax, and that got him going.
Okay.
But I'm assuming that you're not Grand Forks, and obviously you guys know what you're doing. So you guys did the injections. The last one was done yesterday, but Well, nobody charted. None of the nurses charted it, but he was complaining yesterday that his hands were shaking so bad that he couldn't operate his phone.
Oh.
And tremors is a side effect of that injection.
Okay.
So I got a hold of when I talked to Sammy earlier. When I don't know if she's still charge nurse, but I was talking to her. I informed her of that so she could get it charted because he's having some side effects to that stuff. But it sounds like you haven't given it to him since yesterday at noon.
Yeah.
And she mentioned what is it, lactose or the
lactulose.
Lactulose. Thank you. She mentioned that, and
yeah.
I brought up the because I'm on opioid pain medication.
Okay.
So there, if it can make you poop, trust me, they have tried feeding it to me over the last 8 years. And, and I mentioned like the Movantic, and she was talking about how you guys are trying to steer away from anything that's oral because it requires pinching off the NG for an hour. So.
Oh.
Yeah, I totally understand that. The Dad was complaining about obviously with the like hunger, nutrition, and everything, and I'm just getting some ice chips like once in a while. I didn't think that it made a lot of sense dehydrating someone who's constipated, but Sammy, so I was asking Sammy, what are you guys doing as far as hydration? And she mentioned all the electrolytes that the hydration needs that the human body needs. He's actually getting through an IV, and it's not a PICC line. So I was able to get that information cleared up because there's a lot of I don't knows going on our end of the phone. Our end of the phone. So.
Yeah. And it's hard with this COVID that visitation is. I don't think we have much visitations right now, so it's makes it really hard for families.
Well, thanks for bringing it up because our issue with visitation is we're 6 hours away.
Oh.
We're on the I'm on the North Dakota state line.
Okay.
So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I didn't know jack spit about COVID. So what's the hospital's hospital's issues with all of that?
Well, it's just because we're seeing an uptight surge with COVID overall in the state and the area. The hospital's put more kind of gone back to the restrictions of limiting visitors.
Well, we weren't.
Die.
This is our family's first time of anyone being in a hospital in Duluth. So when you say going back to restrictions, I don't have an idea at all as to what was going on before. So what's going on right now?
There's a no visitation policy unless you're a child under 18, and then a parent or two can come in, or if you're like in hospice care. Or you're immediately dying.
So if we went 6 hours, we wouldn't be able to even see him.
Correct.
Well, that's interesting.
So, unless things change. So I definitely wouldn't travel until you heard otherwise.
Oh no, because at this point, if it requires I'm turning the keys to anything and driving 6 hours, it's going to be to discharge him.
Yeah.
Because because everything that's happening right now, short of the NG tube, is nothing that could be done at home. We're kind of monitoring him just to make sure things don't get worse, and he's not one of those 20% patients that need to have surgery. And he's got a little more belly pain than we would kind of expect with typical small bowel obstructions. We do see it, but it's kind of something that we want to kind of keep an eye on. And we don't hold people against their will if a patient decides that they want to leave. When is
this? Not recommend it.
Well, I wouldn't really recommend barring patients from having visitors either.
So, that's a hospital-wide policy. That's out of our hands.
But as far as this gastric study that's supposed to be getting done, has that been scheduled yet then? Yeah,
so it started it, and then the first one is done 8 hours after it started. It looks like that is around 9:30 tonight. And if that one does not show that the medications get all the way to the Vigen test, and then we do one at 24 hours, would be tomorrow afternoon around 1.
So they did. So they already did the. So they already started it then.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. So it's supposed to be. It was supposed. Sammy was going to get it charted that somebody was going to call me with the results of that 8-hour, 9-hour mark. So.
Yeah.
I just
likely that won't be back till tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Or I'll be back tonight, but.
Yeah, she said
that time at night. We don't contact people till the morning time typically.
Well, she mentioned it'd probably be around, because she didn't even sound, she sounded like it hadn't even been scheduled yet. But she said, yeah, it probably wouldn't be until like 10 o'clock tonight or so. And I'm like, I never sleep.
Yeah.
So feel free to call. So it's one of the joys of having as much nerve damage as I do, other than the fact that I get the opioid medication, but I also, don't ever sleep. So I'll be up. It's not a problem. So in the meantime, basically they've done an enema, but it didn't go well.
Yeah, it didn't. So the hard thing with the enema is they do the enema, and then you got to kind of really retain it for a period of time for it to kind of be active, and it's kind of difficult to do. So I think they did one this morning. They're going to try it. It just didn't go that well. They're going to try the second one here in a little bit.
Okay. So we've done the injection, we've done the lactulose, glucose. We've done the goop, okay. Done an enema. They're probably going to do another one. They've already done the first round of that gastric study, be later tonight or tomorrow. He is getting hydrated. No pick.
I just gave him a little extra fluid here right now.
Okay. And then no nutrition, no liquid nutrition or anything like that, and that's perfectly understandable.
Yeah.
Given the situation, he's gonna be hungry. But I told him.
And I'll be here tomorrow. So I'll try to get hold of you. A lot of times it's better like after like noontime or something like that, because then we get kind of everything back from the morning and trial things and kind of have a better idea what's going on. But if you want to get hold of us beforehand or any time, if I get busy, just contact the floor and have them send me a message. Yeah,
I got the Sammy gave me the schedule, or she gave me a breakdown of like when the shift changes occur, and then I usually avoid trying to call plus or minus 2 hours around those times anyway. So I'll just keep my ears open for. I'll either keep my ears open for tonight if somebody calls, or tomorrow around noonish. So.
Yeah, it may not be tonight because we just have one person who's covering the entire hospital at nighttime, so they're often in the ICU and kind of covering big fires and traumas and critical patients. So.
Are you talking, when you say one person, are you talking about one doctor or one nurse?
One surgeon.
One surgeon. Okay.
Yeah. So during the daytime, we have 3 surgeons. We do trauma, surgery, and ICUs. And then at the nighttime, there's one surgeon who's covering those different services.
So as far as this 1 p.m.-ish gastric study that was started up, it's a surgeon who's going to be reviewing that later tonight, and there's only one surgeon available anyway, so it's going to be tomorrow before I know anything. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I would expect.
Interesting. How big is this hospital, this St. Mary's?
400 beds or so. We're a level 1 trauma center, so we're one of 5 level 1 trauma centers in the state. So I think here, Hennepin County, Regents, Mayo, and Fargo are the other level 1 trauma centers. Wow.
All right. Well, then I guess I'll keep my ears open for tomorrow then.
Okay. You have a good night.
Yes, sir. Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye. Well, I certainly feel so much better knowing that this physician's assistant of 24 years is on the case. also was not aware that they don't allow visitors. I'm sorry. Are we in Seattle and are we in Portland?